In the wreck, my bad.
Run down. That's a game, homie, that's a game. I wanna run down. Yeah. I wanna run down. That's a game, homie, that's a game. Homie, that's a game.
Yeah, I did in my waves like a cruise ship. Quarter key to new whip. Move brick, move the 8-ball like a pool stick. I'm all about my paper, that's a glue stick. Red nose stock, I have it barking like a blue pig. Who this? Steam red hairs, yeah, the shoe fit. Toothpick, flick, what's that stick? That's the roof Chris. Ruthless, coop call it ruthless. Bitch, Kama Sutra, I'ma leave your bitches sutures. Mind your medulla, nigga, I'm a shooter. Big shotty, oh, that Ruger lick mayo, we gotta do ya. Take plows to move us, only the proud salute us. Hundreds of miles of movement, we gunning for sound pollution. Yeah, quit walking with your chest out, nigga. Nigga stomp you for your ears, the gun to make you breathe the rest out, nigga. On G, I already been the best out, nigga, that's me. Plus I'm fat, I guess it checks out, nigga, yeah. I ride until I overdose, chain froze, Nova scopes, rolling toe, crush the God's gift, that's the holy smoke. Watching for the rolling folks, make a hole of toast, steam, man, I'm living the dream, you niggas only roll.
I don't wanna run down on it. That's a game, homie, that's a game. Catch your house, slipping 6 hands on. Yeah. Suckers try to flex with the pound on it. Homie, that's a game, homie, that's a game. Heavy is the head with the ground on it. Yeah.
All these pussy niggas frontin', that's how bodies get dropped. Casanova been the block, now everybody get shot. All my thugs like Pop, give a fuck about cops. Niggas frontin' get shot, I'm talking right on the spot. All my niggas with the shit, smash gloves, pistol grips. Won't hesitate to leave you slip. Frontin' on the click, riding around in the whip. 4 deep, 8 sticks, lay you down on your strip. Give a fuck who you with, huh? This shit they be talking, they ain't living, huh? Started out on them corners whipping them chickens, huh? Talking getting this money, we on the mission, huh? Yeah, I see niggas hating, don't see the vision, huh? Fuck, but they gon' make me get that pound on. Mob up and run down on. Yeah, nigga talking no lies. It's whirlwind, nigga, black toe.
Yeah. I just want the paper. I just want the paper. I just want the paper. Yeah. I just want the paper. I just want the paper. I just want the paper. It's still a feeling that you love to hate. Don't hesitate to put in work just to get this pay. And all this talk about food, I guess I need a plate. And once the trap house boom, I guess I flip a state to get this rape. Money violent like I'm Miz and Rafe. Half a brick a yay. My fire work like Independence Day. Spark a split for hate. Niggas learn from that chink shit. Now my shooters move around, we moving Brinks with. I'm from the school of the hard knocks, from a hard block. I need a beat with a hard knock, flipping hard rock. Need a coupe with a hard top or a hard drop. Pull it out, they be all shocked, watch they jaws drop. My niggas crazy, but we optimistic. Cause I remember days I didn't have a pot to piss in. Somebody tell these pussy niggas I'm the best that did it. Your boy Dag, fire plane, that's the best description. Motherfuckers, yeah. I just want the paper. I just.
Alright, can I get a year one time for the town champ? Can I get a year? And then can I get another year for that good old Republic and the Republic we trust? Welcome to the Czech Republic, and also welcome to Talking Tough with Stino. I am your host, the toughest of everything that's tough in this world. Tough Stino, man. Please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. I cannot enforce that enough, champ. All right. And if you're not doing said things, I'm going to take it that you are not using 100% of your brain capacity. You must listen to Kels. Kels.
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Use your scribacier, all right? And use everything that comes along with this page, super chat, become a member of the page as well as different perks. The store will be open back soon. I'm going to be giving out coupons and all types of things for merch. So salute to all you guys for tuning in, man. All right. Salute to everybody in the chat already. Yeah, yo, this is a doozy, champ. You know I'm about to get to it. You know I'm not going to let nobody speak on the culture and my culture without me speaking on it, without me correcting it. Okay, so this is what we're going to do today for Miss Just Pearly Things, and a lot of y'all may not even know who Miss Pearly Thing is, but I'm going to explain all of that in just 1 second. Salute and much love to Stino in the chat. F Tank, you already know the vibes, champ. Salute. Like they say, you shouldn't speak on things you're uninformed on. Pearly did just that. So for what everybody doesn't understand, people's views are their views, whether they're informed, misinformed, uninformed, uniformed. It doesn't really matter. Their views are their views, whether it be ignorant or not. The reason why she's getting such backlash is because of a few things. So for all of y'all who don't know who Just Pearly Things is, I'm going to give you a little background check on who Shorty is right here, right? So this is Miss Pearly Things. I know she may look like a substitute math teacher, champ, all right? She looks like one of those teachers that let you play with Play-Doh in class and arts and crafts and all that. Bring your lunch from home so you can share it with your classmates. But this is not who Miss Pearly Things is, champ. Miss Pearly Things is a fake Kevin Samuels, all right? Miss Pearly Things is a fake Kevin Samuels. So after Kevin Samuels passed away, there was a few different platforms that had taken over his space or that tried to fill that void. One being Just Pearly Things. Another one is Fresh and Fit. Andrew Tate. Sneeko. It was a few niggas that went into that manosphere red pill area, and the thing that stood out with Just Pearly Things was she was saying some of the same things that Kevin Samuels was saying, but she was the total opposite of Kevin Samuels. As you can see, Kevin Samuels is a black male, black African American male, and Miss Just Pearly Things, like I said, is a Caucasian, red-haired female, which is the total opposite of Mr. Kevin Samuels, the late great Godfather, right? And just to prove to y'all that this is the type of things that she was speaking about, I got a couple of clips. I didn't go in because you're probably seeing some of her stuff. She's a very viral person because of the things she say, and I'm going to play a couple of clips for y'all. Let's go.
No, the guys that are the best, most girls can't lock down because how did they get to be the best? They have a lot of girls. And if they're good in bed, like how many girls do you think are calling them? And so like that's why the equivalent, like that's why I say like women swipe right 5% of the time and they hate men because they're all sleeping with the same one, because it's again 100% of women want 20% of men, and sometimes some people argue it's 5% of men. Like what percent? If you want a guy that's over 6 foot, what percent? I need you to cough out of them.
So as you can see, it's some of the same stuff that Kevin Samuels used to say about, the value of women and how many women could get how many men and certain stuff like that. She goes on a little further with this.
If we are going to get more power, it comes with responsibility, having more of the responsibility, because the men have one choice: condom or no condom. We know when we're ovulating. You know when you should. Who gets to choose whether or not they're on birth control? Men or women?
Women.
Who gets to choose whether or not we take the plan B? Men or women?
Women.
Who gets to choose if you have sex on or off when you're ovulating? Men or women?
Women.
Who has the choice to track their cycle? Men or women?
Women.
Who has the choice to get an abortion?
Women. Women.
Okay, so that's the point.
So, like I said, it was very different to see a woman of her skin complexion speaking the same type of stuff that Kevin Samuels and other podcasters in the manosphere, red pill arena, I call it, spoke, right? Which was okay. That's not why we're here today. I just wanted to give y'all a little background on who she was, because I know a lot of y'all, a lot of people in this arena only really know about a certain amount of people, Sean Campbell, Charleston White, and all these guys. But this is something very different, and it really meant a lot to me, right? So we're going to speak about it. We're going to have a good discussion about it because it gets crazy. Her face is tall as hell. It is, champ. All right. I mean, we're not here to discuss about how she looks. We're really here to talk about her mentality and how she thinks about Black Americans. Okay. Which it seems to be a difference between the two, Black Americans and Black immigrants, which she sort of exploits. All right. So upon her new success, she moves her podcast to England, to the UK, where she employs the likes of a lot of African Europeans. So people that were from Nigeria, that moved and settled to Europe to settle to the UK and stuff like that. She has a whole lot of European Africans on her platform now. So just like Adam 22 and the rest of these people who build their platforms off of the Black culture, because don't get it confused. Kevin Samuels is the godfather of this. A lot of people that watch Kevin Samuels was African American. The majority of people, we make everything hot. I'm just going to put it out there like that. We make everything hot. When Kevin Samuels passed away, niggas was looking for that void to fill. So a lot of her guests, Brittany Renner, just a lot of Black females, champ, like a lot of Black females, Black American females. She moved her podcast to the UK. And like I said, with a lot of these white-owned platforms, they want to see why certain people are canceled, right? So the person that she brought on her podcast was Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes is, and I had a picture just in case y'all don't know who Nick Fuentes is. I'm going to pull up a picture for y'all in just 1 second. I had it right here. Here we go. All right, boom. This is Nick Fuentes, champ. Nick Fuentes is an American white supremacist political commentator and live streamer, former YouTuber. His channel was permanently suspended in February 2020 for violating YouTube's hate speech policy. He is known for holding anti-Semitic views and denying the Holocaust, champ. All right. So just like when Adam 22 had whatever that guy name was on that podcast, it's a problem. It's a problem when you have the majority of Black-skinned people that work for you, and you go on and do certain things, all right? Upon having this white supremacist on her podcast, she goes on to make some very damaging statements. And we're going to get to those statements today, and we're going to get to why she's allowed to say these things, why she's allowed to keep her platform, and the divide in Black people. All right. So we're going to get into it right now. We're going to start with one of her ex-co-hosts, Sarah. Let's go.
Do you think that historical catastrophes must be compensated for?
No.
No.
That's stupid.
Saying I'm not agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah.
So then, how come there were groups of people that got compensation then?
How come?
For instance, like Jewish people, Chinese people, Japanese people with the bombs. Like there were groups of people who got compensated.
I don't know.
So it wasn't fair.
What? Well, I'm talking about like when I think about group, I think about reparations. So I mean, maybe if the people were still alive today, like I don't know, maybe. But like when you said historical, I thought you meant like at the past, not the present.
Yeah, so like in the past, so like people talk about slavery. So in the past, you know, the Holocaust happened. In the past, you know, the Japanese.
So she's gonna but she's gonna act like she doesn't understand. Some people may watch this, not saying the viewer that's watching now, salute to all of you right now. Some people may watch this and say, oh, well, she just disagrees with reparations. But there's a reason why people disagree with reparations. One of those reasons is they feel like black people are lazy. They feel like we're not owed the reparations or the payment from our ancestors if we can prove that we were directly descendants of slavery. We don't deserve any compensation from that atrocity that happened to us. And like I said, the majority of people that don't agree with reparations believe in the bootstrap theory. The bootstrap theory is that black people need to just pick themselves up, black Americans, because there's a difference. We're going to get into that soon. That black Americans need to just pick themselves up by their bootstraps. A lot of us don't work hard enough to get what we deserve. And the reason why I'm going to say that is she proves this. So in that same interview with Nick Fuentes, she goes on, which she did take down. So there's only a few clips that I could play from it. But other people have seen it and commented on it and all that. She goes in to say the difference between Africans and African Americans is our work ethic, that Africans work harder than African Americans. And she said this in front of Nick Fuentes, who is a known white supremacist. Okay.
With a colonial mindset, this can be quite dangerous. And what happened during that interview with Nick Fuentes was that she used an age-old tactic that colonizers use, which was the divide and rule tactic. She pitted African Americans versus Africans when she spoke about how hard Africans work compared to how hard African Americans work.
As an African, I've always been really aware of this tactic of pitting Africans versus African Americans. I'll tell you guys a story. I went on the Academics live stream earlier this week when they were speaking about Africans versus Black Americans in terms of the work ethic. And what I said was, hold up now, bruh. And this was my address to all the foreigners on the panel. I said, hold up. Not only is it wrong, but it's insulting to even question the work ethic of the Black American when their work ethic is the only reason you're here. During the Civil Rights Movement, Black Americans pushed, marched, and protested for Black immigrants to come here in the same numbers the white immigrants were coming over here. See, their mentality was, if the white immigrants is coming over here and contributing to white supremacy, then we want our Black brothers to also come over here to help us fight white supremacy. But instead, what took place, once the Black immigrants from the Caribbeans and Africa started coming over here, the tactics of dividing Black immigrants and Black Americans got put in full effect. And instead of helping Black Americans fight for more rights, the Black immigrant is now saying, oh, they're lazy. That's why they haven't been able to achieve what we've been able to achieve. The colonizer was able to brainwash them and permeate this ideology of, yo, they're able to achieve this because they work harder than the Black American. And now their Black asses are on VC, Discord, YouTube live streams talking down upon the Black American work ethic as if that very same work ethic of the Black American isn't why their Black asses is able to be in this country and be able to work and feed a fucking family.
Now, at the beginning of that clip, the man Sarah, he goes into to basically say that this woman has a colonizer mindset. So not only does she disagree with reparations for Black Americans, she also believes that Africans work harder than African Americans, which is why she moved her whole podcast to the UK and hired nothing but Nigerians and people from Africa that, you know, live in the UK now. So she could push this narrative. She could push this narrative and say she's not racist, which she's gonna. I got more clips, right? She could push this narrative and say she's not racist because some of the majority of the people that work for her now have been affected by that colonizer mindset, where they don't necessarily, they may feel like they're better than the Black American. And we're gonna get into that. But salute to Flacco for that narrative that he just for what he just said, because just like F Tank said, that's the only thing that I ever agreed with him on as well. I never agreed with Flacco on anything, but I was tuned into that live, and I was gonna do a reaction to that live, the live that he's talking about. He did stand up for us. He stood 10 toes down, and there was a lot of people in there that had that colonized mindset to where they feel like they're better than us. That's the difference between, and there's a lot of creators, which we're going to get into in just a second, but there's a lot of creators that's speaking on this, and a lot of them don't understand how her people that work for her aren't how is she not canceled for the things that she said. And we're going to get into some of the things that she said, and we're going to get into why she has not been canceled yet. Now I'm saying there's a really cut dry explanation for it, and maybe I should give the explanation before I even play it, just in case I forget. All black people is not black. This is why people can go on and say egregious things about us and our past and what we deserve and what we that slavery was not that bad and all types of other stuff like that, and not get canceled, because there's a divide with black people. Black people were brought over here. The word black was made over here. A lot of these other countries, a lot of these black immigrant countries, they don't consider themselves really black. Like they know they're black because the word is around. It's black, it's white, and I'm saying stuff like that, but they don't really consider themselves black. All right. And this is the nastiest thing that she said. Let's go.
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do, is they embellish, and I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible, it was.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
So, and I'm going to play that again just in case y'all didn't digest that. Just in case y'all didn't digest what she just said about slavery. So first and foremost, you're putting off the narrative that we've all learned from slavery from the movie Roots. So we're not in touch with our history enough to have passed down knowledge of what happened to us. That's just like saying that Jewish people only know about the Holocaust from the Diary of Anne Frank. Like their families didn't pass down knowledge and have pictures and all this other stuff that they can learn about their culture about. Like, that's just like saying that Native American people only know about what they went through from the John Wayne movies and all that. Like, bro, the arrogance and the nerve of these people, bro, sometimes really get me tight, bro. And when I say these people, I mean people that have platforms that have totally warped mindsets. That I'm saying, totally warped mindsets. Like, how dare you go on your platform and say such stupid things like that? How dare you? After the love that the black community has showed you, because you just recently moved out to the UK. We are the ones who showed you the most love out here, sharing your videos, supporting your page. Bro, it's crazy, bro. I'm gonna play that one more time, bro, because I don't think it hit hard enough. Let's go.
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish, and I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible, it was.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible so
they?
that they can
who
control
wants to make
people.
it more horrible? Who is they? Who is they? I need to know who they is. Who is they, and who is trying to make slavery more worse than what it was for control? Since when did we have any control? Since when did the Black American have any type of control? Please, somebody tell me when. If that was true, then we should have all the control in the world. Now, like I said, if somebody said that about the Jewish community, they would be finished. I.e., Kanye West. Niggas would be finished. Even black people would be like, oh, you're wildin'. Black people all over the world would come to her and wow her out. But she understands the divide and conquer method, bro. She's in the UK. She has a bunch of black UK niggas that work for her, which I'll show you what her panel be looking like. That's what her panel usually looks like. But you're going to sit there and you're going to say what you said, bro, is insane. So black people try to inflate slavery like it make it worse than what it really was, so we can try to gain control. Is that what you believe? There's no apology that can fix that, and every black person all over the world should feel offended by that. Even if your family wasn't directly, bro, listen, it's like I said, a lot of black immigrants' family was not affected, so they don't really understand. That's like all white people wasn't affected by the Holocaust. It was a specific white person, and that was the Jewish people that was affected by the Holocaust. It was a specific black person that was really affected by American slavery. So everybody's family was not affected by it. So this is why she can sit there and people will come to her defense. Some people would say and sit there and agree with her, when in all actuality, everybody who looks like me, everybody who has any type of black ancestry should be calling for her to be permanently removed from her platform. On my soul, and I'm not even on no cancel culture shit. I'm just on some what's even. What's even? I'm tired of seeing people being able to say whatever they want to say about my people and still keep their platform. I'm really tired of it. There's no way that's popping. There's no way if she would have said any of this, just listen to what she says and just replace everything she says with the word Holocaust. Okay? Just do that.
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish, and I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible, it was.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
Bro, she ain't losing sponsorship. She ain't losing monetization. She ain't losing nothing. Imagine if she was a black female or a black man and she would have said this about any other culture, it would have been called for immediately violating, immediately disbanding, immediately deplatforming. Crazy. That's just what it is. F Tank says she definitely knew a tactic that she was going to use from afar. I'm definitely offended, especially because our people are always helping other races rise and then they turn. It happens time and time again. Like I said, we seen this with Adam 22. We seen but the problem is, even with Adam 22, and you sit there and you look at it, it's still some of us that stayed. Oh well, it didn't mean nothing to me. I'm still getting my check, and like this is why people can do things like hire black people, grow their audience off of the sweat of black people, off of our viewership, and then interview a known white supremacist. You want to know what happened when Kanye West, when Kanye West was on that anti-Semitic shit? Everything almost got boomed. Kanye West definitely got boomed. Drink Champs almost got boomed. Everything around that situation. If you niggas couldn't even share that live. Niggas couldn't even share them clips, champ. If you shared them clips of what Kanye West was saying, your page probably got boomed on. Respectfully. With all due respect. And she said the same thing, well, some of the same stuff that Kanye West was saying about who he was saying it about. She said some of the same stuff. It was inflated. It wasn't real. They're trying to gain control by making it worse than what it was. How do you make slavery worse than what it was, bro? How? How do you make it worse than what it was, bro, if they were teaching us this shit in school? We're not making all the slavery movies. Compared to some of the slavery movies, Roots was nothing. Like, yo, bro, this shit is insane, right? So there's, like I said, there's been a lot of other platforms, Playback, I believe Ab and Preach. There's been a lot of platforms that's been speaking out about what she said, and they're not liking what she said, right? So one of her employees was responding to somebody that was saying some stuff, and I'm gonna play a clip and then we're gonna talk about it. Let's go.
So for those just unaware of what's been going on, Pearl has recently come under fire for these particular comments.
I'm trying to get my Africans in America, my Africans. Oh gosh. I don't know why you had to do that, like that little, rewind 3 times. Like, I mean, Brett, like it sounds like you're trying to, push a narrative with that, and I kind of feel like that's a bit unfair because Pearl personally. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, her personally. You've had conversations with her. You've got to know her. Just as I've got to know her, she's not racist, bro.
Salute to the real MTR, because he did break that down crazy. I'm not gonna hold you. His video definitely was fire on the whole breakdown. As far as King Riches is concerned, King Riches, the reason why he emphasized bring my Africans to America is because his family probably could link their ancestors to Africa. So it means something different to him. He probably could link his ancestry to slavery, which his people were bought from Africa by somebody that looks like her. She said that with a white supremacist in the building. This is why he emphasized it and broke it down. Now, the reason why I played that clip is just to show the real MTR, show all the other podcasters that are not, or platform holders that are not saying what I'm about to say. These niggas ain't black. All right? The reason why these niggas is still there is because they probably feel the same way she feels. Their families probably never made it over here. He was probably born in Nigeria or whatever African country, and then he migrated himself. Or he's probably the first generation UK nigga. He got the whole English accent and all that other shit. He didn't make it over here to American slavery. If you don't come from American slavery, if you don't come from FBA, what they call it now, foundational Black Americans, you're not Black. And I know everybody is saying, oh, well, that divides us more. Well, we can't afford to keep it going because there's a silent divide. So on the outside, because they know that they'll come under fire, pause. You know what I'm saying? But because they know that they'll receive backlash for giving their real views, they'll keep it quiet. And they'll silently have that divide. So it leaves us pushing like, yo, come on, my brother. Like, yo, bro, I can't believe, like, and then it just falls silent. And the reason why you can't believe is because there's a silent divide. King Riches is going to say she's not racist because he's getting paid. Just like the house nigga back in the day would probably say that the massa is not racist because he's receiving perks and he's receiving benefits, and plus the fact that a lot of them overseas niggas don't even really like us over here, bro. Just like Poetic Flacco said, a lot of these niggas think that we're lazy, champ. They think that we're entitled and all this other shit. When in all actuality, they have never faced, nor have their family ever faced. Like, I know that there's poverty and different things in Africa. But a lot of these people never really faced American racism. They haven't faced being redlined. They haven't faced stop and frisk. They haven't faced a lot of the things that we faced. Learning how to read and write back in the days, we wasn't taught that. She also said, oh man, I wish I would have got that clip, bro. She also said that, yo, y'all niggas ain't gonna believe me if I tell y'all what she said. I should have got that clip. I was watching this shit earlier. But I'll tell y'all what she said. I know y'all trust me. I wouldn't tell y'all no sideways shit, right? She said a lot of the slaves, after slavery ended, went back to slavery because slavery wasn't that bad. That's what she said. And I don't have that clip because I forgot which video I was watching where they pointed it out, what she said, because she took the interview down with Nick Fuentes. But she sat in front of, matter of fact, I'm going to try to find it. Shorty said, so what y'all don't know is there's something called the forgotten slave, right? The forgotten slaves are the slaves that didn't know that slavery ended. So, of course, there was a law where slavery was abolished. You were supposed to relinquish your slaves. But you think every slave owner did that? No. They were still slaves until like the 1930s or something like that. I forget the exact date. But they were still slaves. There were still slaves out here. All right. Yeah. Her narratives is crazy. Yet we experience a totally different living experience than other people of color in other countries. And even when they come here. So even when they come here, on the outside, they do face, some of the stuff that we face. But a lot of them get grants. A lot of them come here and, we've already faced a lot of the turmoil. We already went through a lot of the turmoil that they're never going to get a chance to go through, right? Hold on one second. I'm going to try to find that video real quick where she said that, because y'all definitely got to hear that. She was wilding. Hold on. She was wilding. Shorty said slaves went back to the slave owners because it wasn't that bad and they rather be there. Like, no, some of them probably went back to go work because they were poor. What she doesn't know is that there was a law after slavery that made it illegal to not have a job. Also made it illegal not to know how to read and write. So black people were getting arrested. Black people, it was against the law to not have a job. Well, she probably doesn't know that. So that's probably why some of them went back as well. Let me see. What video was it? Let me see. Let me see. Hold on. I think this is it right here. Hold on, champs. Damn, bro, it's too many goddamn videos. So many people's going crazy on Shorty, but I'm not gonna hold you, son. Shorty definitely was saying some very egregious stuff about slavery. I'm not gonna lie. Most don't believe half of what we deal with until they actually see it happen to us or live around us, right? I mean, it's not for them to know, it's just for them to respect. And that's what we got to get to a common understanding that these things are not even up for discussion. Right? So her views about whatever it is not even up for discussion. Period. It's not up for discussion. Nick Fuentes didn't get deplatformed until he started talking about a certain specific type of people. But he was talking about us for a while. He was already a known white supremacist. It's all right to be a white supremacist. It's just not all right to be anti-Semitic. We have to change this. This is something that we have to change. And the only way it's going to change is with us. We got to stick together. We got to move on the same accord. Period. I mean, like, it's not even up for discussion. She don't need to live around us. She don't need no personal experience. She don't need to be taught the right thing. We're not taught. We just got to respect. So people got to respect what we went through. It is what we say it is, period. It's not for her to have any type of thought about that or voice on that, or it's just not. Why does she even have a voice? So she made her voice off of the Kevin Samuels manosphere red pill type of vibe. So she basically tells Shorty things from a man's point of view. And like I said, black people were the ones who actually gave her a voice, just like Adam 22. We make everything pop. If you're just now coming in, you probably done missed everything I said, which I'm probably not going to go back over. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Everybody wants to make a voice off of us and then go ahead and interview known white supremacists and then end up saying things like
That
this.
sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do, is they embellish, and I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible, it was.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
VX salute. I see you in the chat, champ. I see you in the chat. I need to see how old Shorty is, because I can't believe that she would be like 26. Yo, I said this on Showface podcast, man. Y'all 20-year-olds, y'all need to relax. And Nick Fuentes is 24. Y'all 20-year-olds, y'all need to relax, because y'all say the most weirdest stuff. You wasn't even alive when Roots came out. You wasn't alive. You wasn't alive when Roots came out. You was not alive when Roots came out. You was born in 96. What year did Roots come out? The novel came out in 1976. When did the movie come out? Hold on, the movie was shot in 1977 as well? So you mean to tell me you're a 26-year-old, you're a 26-year-old that's basing your historical judgment off of a horrible historically known event, off of a movie that your parents weren't even born when it came out. Like, bro, and that's just to say, man, the internet is ran by children. This is why it's so much buffoonery going on. The internet is ran by children. All the most popular people, like, y'all may pay attention to Charleston White and the old heads, but the young ones is the one who get all the views. The young crowd, 26, 22, 21, 19, 25. These is the ones that's getting all the views. And when I was that age, I was not this wise. Salute to F Tank for saying you're wise beyond your years. I was not this wise when I was her age. I was just getting to understand the way the world works, just now getting out. You know what I'm saying? Like, understanding the world. I was gaining my knowledge. I'm a whole 10 years older than Shorty. But this is the problem. These platformers, they have such an influence and they're so young. They don't understand what they're saying. And I don't want to excuse her ignorance, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm not excusing her for being ignorant, because like I said, what she said should never be said. We have to make it to where people cannot talk about slavery. They can't mention it. Don't talk about it. If you have an opposite opinion of it, if you say it, it's a problem. Why? Because there's known white supremacist groups out there that it can happen again. This is why other communities don't tolerate people making judgment about their past and what happened and what their people went through. They don't let you make any jokes or anything about that. because leaving it open for discussion and leaving it open for opposing opinion is what can lead to it happening again. Period. It can lead to something of that sort happening again. And we got to learn from that. We got to learn from that. We kicked Nick Fuentes out the city. He pulled up with his incel friends in attempts to deface a BLM vigil. Wow. Like, and this is the type of people that this is the type of person that Shorty would have on her podcast, but you don't have none of these black people up there. You don't have the nigga Sarah Garvey, whatever son name is, you don't have him up there to combat son. You don't have any knowledgeable person, and this is the same thing that Adam 22 did. You didn't bring this person on there to refute what he was saying. Excuse me. You brought this person on here to push a different agenda. You had this person on your podcast to spew hate and to make jokes and to really give your thoughts on how you feel about Black Americans. Because when you say they, you're not talking about the Black people in Europe that you now employ, the European Nigerians. You're not talking about them because they have no say in anything that has anything to do with American slavery. You're talking about Black Americans. So if you've watched this whole podcast, it all came back 360, champ. It all came back to where it started. The divide between Black people, the divide between immigrant Blacks and Black Americans. She knew what she was doing by moving her podcast to the UK and hiring a lot of European Blacks. Now she can push her narrative while still saving face. Now she can push her narrative and say certain things and it be okay because there's other Black people that she employs that's going to say that she is not racist. Understand this, y'all.
So for those just unaware of what's been going on, Pearl has recently come under fire for these particular comments.
I'm trying to get my Africans in America, my Africans. Oh gosh. I don't know why you had to do that, like that little, rewind 3 times. Like, I mean, Brett, like it sounds like you're trying to, push a narrative with that, and I kind of feel like that's a bit unfair because Pearl personally. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, her personally. You've had conversations with her. You've got to know her. Just as I've got to know her, she's not racist, bro.
You're a goddamn lie, King Riches. You're a goddamn tea and crumpets drinking liar, champ. Respectfully. You don't care about Black people, bro. You don't care about Black Americans, bro. Because when she said what she said, you would have felt offended too. Understand that. Why would she need to go to the UK, hire Africans in the UK, and bring Africans back to America to work for her, champ? She was already in America. She's already made the statements that she feels like Africans are harder workers than Americans.
With a colonial mindset, this can be quite dangerous. And what happened during that interview with Nick Fuentes was that she used an age-old tactic that colonizers use, which was the divide and rule tactic. She pitted African Americans versus Africans when she spoke about how hard Africans work compared to how hard African Americans work.
As an African.
So this is not hate. This is not hate towards African Americans. Bro, I swear to God, I should be a psychiatrist or psychologist. Somebody that studies the way people think and the way people move. Because the way you move, I can already tell how you think. On my soul, I can already tell how you think. So you move to the UK, you hired a whole staff of Africans. You have a known white supremacist named Nick Fuentes go on your podcast where y'all niggas make different jokes about color people time, about being late, about a whole bunch of racist type connotations, champ, right? You also say that Africans work harder than Black Americans and that you wish you could bring your Africans to America. And this nigga King Riches he not gonna see that. Them Africans that work for her over there in Europe, a lot of them are not going to see that. They're not going to understand what's going on because they're the chosen one. Everybody want to be the chosen one, bro. Everybody want to be the one that is chosen. I swear to God, the only people that don't is Black Americans, bro. Me, my people. We the only people that understand we won't be the chosen ones, bro. Like, we done went through everything that there is to go through for generations and generations, champ. We the only ones that just want what's due to us. That's all, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, late night convo, but this is just like sometimes you gotta step out of the gossip arena, champ. Sometimes you gotta step outside of the gossip arena, champ. This is real life situations. These people are 26 and 25 and 24 years old, and they running the narrative of things that they don't know nothing about. I had no idea Nick Fuentes was 24 years old. He could have been my son. On my soul, I could have had a child at 13, and that nigga would have been my son. On my soul. So what the hell do he know about the world, bro? What the hell do Shorty know about the world, bro? To be able to push these narratives and for us not to be able to get them the hell up out of here. There should be no Black people there working for her no more. After what she said, it should be no Black people working for her no more. Everybody should have left. And that's kind of worse than Adam, because at least Adam didn't say no racist shit out of his mouth about slavery and all that. But still, the majority of the Black people that was there left. Respectfully. With all due respect. It's just what it is, bro. It's just what it is. We got to really get these people up out of here. That's the hidden intentions being heard by using others to agree with your beliefs. Bro, it was a smart move. So she's already had these thoughts in her mind, these colonizer, as they said, like thoughts in her mind about immigrant Black people working harder than American Blacks. That's why she moved to the UK and hired a bunch of Africans to work for her, bro. Sarah Garvey goes in to mention the contract that she tried to give him. So she wanted Sarah, I don't want to say Sarah, and it's Sarah. So it's Sarah Garvey. She tried to give him a contract. And in the contract, he asked for a salary. She said no. She's going to give him a percentage of whatever, right? Of his content. So she wanted him to go there and work for her for 7 days out of the week for 5 days, right? For 7 hours out of the week for 5 days. She said that she would give him a high-end contract, which would give him 30% out of 100%. So he would get 30% of whatever money from the views from that content, and she would get 70%. So he said, if that's the high end, then what's the low end? She said the low end is 10%. So she got a lot of those black immigrant to us, but European blacks from Africa, she got them working for her for 10% profit, for 10% of whatever comes in from their content. Now, when we talk about hard workers and we talk about things like that, you know, a lot of people be mad at some of my Mexican brothers because of how hard they work. And I feel like sometimes they're taken advantage of. Put two and two together. The reason why it's allowed is because they can be taken advantage of. Now, they may flip the script with that colonizer mindset and say, oh, they work harder than you guys. They're willing to work for less. And so does that mean that you pay them less? Because a black American sort of understands y'all getting over on me. This is why a lot of black Americans don't want to do certain things, because we understand that we're bro, you're not going to pay me what's not fair. We've been through this with y'all, so we understand. A lot of these people, they'll work for less because they haven't been through what we've been through here. So they'll work for less. We've already worked for nothing. What makes you think we're going to work hard for less? We've worked for nothing. My ancestors worked for... Son, my grandfather told me a story, right? So after slavery and all that, right? My grandfather and them, they still lived in Alabama. My grandfather, I guess he still worked for like a slave owner, but they was like paying him or whatever. So my grandfather owned, my great-grandfather, he owned a farm. He had cattle and all that shit, right? That he used to sell his cattle. He used to sell meat. He had chickens and all that shit. So one day, one day they came and they took all his livestock. They took all his livestock. My grandfather said that he watched my great-grandfather cry because he knew that he couldn't do nothing. Like they was there with the burning torches. Like he telling me this story. Like niggas was so like he was scared. Like as a kid, like he was scared. He could see his father scared for his family. Like, if I don't give them my cattle, if I don't give them all my cattle, all my livestock, they could potentially kill my whole family. A lot of people don't have these stories. A lot of people, and when I say a lot of people, I'm talking about the people that she employed. They don't understand this stuff. It's easy to have that divide when the knowledge is not there. Facts. That's because Adam is here in America and she isn't. He know blacks are here if he says something like that. Nah, facts. That's why I said she did a very smart strategical thing by going over there to the UK. She know that it's not the same type black people. She knows it's not the same type black people. It's a whole different type time. When it comes to historical, bro, when it comes to historical black problems in America, she understands that all she had to do was cross water and there's a greater divide. There's already a divide here, being as though, I mean, a lot of people did come from other countries and come here and all that. So there is a divide here. Just like Flacco said. But she knew if she crossed that water, she'd be good money. She made a little apology statement and all that, you know, just saying that she didn't know, you know, and all that other shit. But yeah, nah. We not hearing no apologies, champ. We got to get these people up out of here, all right? Yo, VX, it's and what's crazy is like the MREC TVs, the Gully TVs, Getty Radio, Seti Nash, even DJ Act. Niggas would not talk about this. Niggas want to talk about buffoonery all day long. But niggas don't want to talk about people that's violating our real culture. Niggas don't want to talk about niggas that's violating our real culture. Niggas want to talk about gossip all day. I talk about gossip too, but you know, being the leader of the Republic, man, I'm definitely going to bring y'all these different type of vibes, man, because it's not just people in the entertainment, hip-hop entertainment world that are being egregious. It's definitely people of different platforms, man. It's definitely people of different platforms that will have this all the time. If you go and you type in Just Pearly Things, 9 times out of 10, she's talking to black females or black men. And will go and go ahead and, well, I might as well just go ahead and just get a known white supremacist on here so we can go ahead and spew this hate. I've made enough followers. I made enough money off of the community. Let me go ahead and switch gears. I feel like I need to go in a new direction. Yo, that's the whole shit, bro. I swear to God, bro. I feel like we need to go in a new direction with this platform. I feel like we need to talk about more important things. Yeah. I don't know why Nick Fuentes was deplatformed, but I want to go ahead and give him a platform to speak on over here in the UK, where it's okay for him to talk crazy about black Americans. Yo, listen, man. I'm not going to stop until it's the way I envisioned it. I'm not going to stop until there's a utopia that is called the Czech Republic. I swear to God, I'm not going to stop until there is a flag that is boasted above the castle that is the Republic. And I'm just not going to stop, bro. It's very important that I do these types of lives because I understand the arena that I'm in, but yeah, I need to understand everything else that's going on outside of what YouTube is showing you because of what you watch. So me, I've totally stopped watching anything that has to do with gossip hip hop. And I'm starting to see that there's different arenas, and these different arenas are very nasty. All right. These different arenas are just as nasty. I'm not gonna hold you. They don't want to get in trouble, man. Listen, everybody's in trouble, champ. Here at the Czech Republic, nobody is safe. Nobody is safe. If you say some nasty things, if you say some stuff that you need to be checked on, well, God damn it, I think you're gonna get checked here at the Czech Republic. All right. So yeah, man, if you've watched this content, please make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe. If you're not subscribed and you don't hit that like button, you just probably don't like the channel. But I'm going to take it that you don't have both sides of your brain activated, and you must use your common sense. Kels?
Is this camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
And just one more thing before I go, if y'all don't got nothing else to talk about, you already know. One more thing I gotta say, man. Don't give in, my niggas. Real talk. Don't give in to what niggas want you to give into, bro. Don't conform. Understand that if you're here and you're watching this, that means that you're definitely on the right page as far as how you're thinking. It's very rarely that I have to ban anybody in my chat. It's very rare that niggas is saying crazy things in my chat And I do want to thank y'all for keeping everything solid. Like I said, if you're here, that means that you're definitely on the right track. And I'm going to keep making this content for y'all. All right? So, yeah, man, go over to wearetough.com for the merch. And I'll be back tomorrow morning for some more content. All right? It's the town versus everybody. Salute.
It's the town versus everybody. I repeat, it's the town versus everybody. Only at wearetough.com. Get it now. The town versus everybody hoodies is out now. Rep the town in the best fashion possible. Only at wearetough.com, nigga. Rep the town, champs. Rep the town. We here. You know where we from. You know what we rep. Stop playing.